Welcome to the 5th episode of Demo Speak 2016 presented by United Nations Youth Community. If you can see the invisible, you can do the impossible, and with an aim to achieve impossible things, United Nations Youth Community has presented Demo Speak. The first episode was on January 26th, where we discussed about Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose files, and then we followed it with second, third and fourth episode. Today we are here for the 5th episode, and the topic is Literate India, Sensible India? We'll be having 3 teams, for team, against team and the neutral team. Each team will be speaking for 3 minutes and each speaker will be speaking for 1.5 minutes each. Then we'll be having a questionnaire round where for team will ask 1 question to the against team will ask 1 question to the for team, and neutral team will ask 1 question to any of the team it feels like asking. And then we'll be having an open house discussion where the audience who are sitting can give their opinion or ask question to the teams which are present over here. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a huge round of applause for our panel today. And not to forget Mr. Guneet sir. Ladies and gentlemen, please give the loudest possible round of applause for Guneet sir for being a wonderful jury for the past 5 episodes of our United Nations Youth Community. And
said by someone, empty mind is devil's workshop. Respected member of jury and my dear friends, a very warm good evening to all of you. I, Rishabh Raj, and my friend Abhijit are going to speak for the topic, is Literate India Sensible India?
Good evening everyone, I'm Abhijit. Yes, Literate India is Sensible India. As we all know, the current percentage of literate people in India is 74.04. Every year this literature rate is increasing by 4%. As well as the literature rate is increasing, the GDP is also increasing. Every country is measured on the basis of their GDP rate, and every country is depending on the main factor called GDP rate. The current status which I am having, in the year of 2001, the literature rate was 64% and the GDP was 5.2. And the year of 2011, the percentage was 74.04 and the GDP is 8.4. So yes, India is developing and India is growing. Padega Bharat to Badega Bharat.
You say we are not sensible, but we have completely demolished Sati Pratha. You say we are not sensible, but we have almost removed dowry system. You say we are not sensible, but still our women are stepping on moon. Our women are leading our MNCs. Our women, despite of being a good housewife and a mother, they are leading our own country. That is, if I take an example of very own president, Shri Pratibha Patil. I would like to give you an example. I would like to take an example. I would like to remind you of one incident which led entire country to cry, which compelled us to think that does God even exist? A girl who was raped so brutally that even death cried upon her. My friend, but let me remind you this. Those people were not sensible because they were not literates. They were rickshaw pullers, they were drivers, they were farmers. I can say that because they were not literate. So yes, we are sensible and we are moving. Last but not the least, I just want to say that yes, we are moving from past to future. Yes, we are moving. We are becoming sensible. It is just because of literacy. Thank you.
Good evening to judges and to all of my friends. Today we know the motion of the house, that is Literate India Sensible India? No, think yourself. Is Literate India Sensible India? Yes, this is Amit Singh from UNYC and my friend Amit from Open Audi Club. Today, when we talk about literate, it means that you are able to read and write. Literate means that yes, you can read and write. And it is becoming compulsory to read and write, hence everybody is studying. But that doesn't mean that you are a sensible person. You know why? Why we are not sensible? Do you all think that we Indians are sensible? Let me tell you an incident that I was moving in the streets of Kolkata, as I am from Kolkata, and there was a poor kid of 8 years old, and he was selling fruits on the food stall, and I asked him that, do you go to school? He said no, but if I get a chance I would go. So he wanted to study, but he is not getting studied. And one more thing is that when I asked that, what do you want to become? He said, I would become anything. I have to work. I have to work to feed my hunger, to feed my family. He gave a sensible answer. And when I asked this question to a particular student who went to school, who was happy, who was a rich guy, he said, you know, I will work in a company and I will buy a car, a big car, and I will roam around it. Is it a sensible answer? Yeah, he might be a good, CEO of any company in future, but I was talking about a sensible thing. Sensible means that you take a correct decision and good point after analyzing all the things. Now handing this point to my friend.
Well, a very good evening to the judges and my dear friends. Well, today's topic is Literate India Sensible India? Basically, looking over the present situation of India, we can't say that our India is sensible. Just my friend said that we are removing the dowry system. It just declined from major to minor. My friend says that we are moving from past to future. But are we really sensible? Look over the condition. My friend said about the dowry system. Just go and check over the net. There are still 6,999 cases pending over the dowry system which you are talking about. Is this less, 6,999 cases? Is those you call this sensible? You mean to say that all those sensible cases, those 6,999 are uneducated and they are insensible? Now coming to the next point, which is the present position of the women in our society. Even the literate people living in the home, they don't allow their women to go out and to go for the further educations. Is this what literate people do? There should be no boundaries between the boy and a girl. I mean, like between a literate and a illiterate person. It doesn't define like that.
The old order changes, yielding places to new ones. What once was or is will vanish away and will give way to newer institutions. Good evening, everyone, the honorable judges, the audiences. I'm come from a neutral team. My name is Ankita and my partner is Noyonika. I want to say that yes, India is a literate country. As my friend said, by the census of 2011, the literacy rate shot up to around 74%. But are we seriously sensible enough? Are we not, we tend to become very insensitive towards someone's comment over Facebook, someone's way of dressing, the way women are deemed to be immodest in their clothing. Do you not think so that your literacy has nothing to do with what one has is their opinions, in their thinking, in their perspective? But yes, we are getting literate, but less of educated. There is a need to redefine the statement, the definition of literacy. Yes, my friend from the against team said that literacy is something when a 7-year-old child or a 6-year-old chap can easily read, write or comprehend what the other is saying in any language, be it any language. But do you think so? Just reading, writing or comprehending can understand the level of the way you think, the way you behave and the way you present yourself to this sensible India. There is no point. Your degrees tends to be just a mere piece of paper, but yes, you have to be educated. The rest will be told by Nayonika. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. It's nice to see you here, such a big crowd. Talking about the education system going on in India, I would like to say education has become a means of employment. Students over here are being squeezed out as they are pursuing their higher degrees for majors and masters, because the seats are there are not much seats. So, and I would like to tell you a story. One of our students in our class, he asked the teacher if there was a study that gold particles were found in cow's urine. So it was said that the teacher said that it's merely impossible that gold, being such an inert material, by inert I mean it's not even soluble in water. So what baffles me is that student came up asking that question, is it even possible? See, we are lacking scientific acumen over here. We're not applying science over here. We're just learning things by rote, and whoever scores the maximum in the exams is the one who's doing good.
Farmer is literate because he knows about farming with nobody knows. Okay? So yes, literacy adds sensibility. But when we say literacy, we do not mean college education, passing exams. So if we are talking about education, that is being passed on through generations, through experience, through practicals, then yes, that adds sensibility. But if you only talk about education which is taught in the schools and colleges without any morals or ethics being actually infused into individuals, then no, that education will not add any kind of sensibility. So if you want to be sensible, understand what is being taught to you, implement it in your life, see the effects, and then give your opinions. Don't follow what is written in the books unless you yourself experience it. Okay, so these are my words on that. Coming to the speakers, very well done. The best thing I liked was the way they were handling each other. They were appreciating everyone. Whoever was asking them a question, they appreciated it. Okay, they were saying that's a good question. So goes around with everyone. So I liked every speaker here. You gave your 100%. That is the best thing that you can give wherever you go. Okay. Rest results. Obviously, we see some factors, and results will be announced by Vamshi sir. But every speaker gave his 100%, and every audience member learned something, and that is the whole idea of these demo speaks. All right. Thank you so much.
So first of all, I congratulate UNYC for bringing academic institution. I think it's very that space and a platform for everyone to indulge in such debates and discourses. Right? Talking about my take on the topic, I very well agree that yes, literacy and sensibility go hand in hand. I mean, like, yes, again, how do you define literacy? Is if you define it the way how Guneet sir has mentioned, yes, it definitely aids in sensibility. But then I feel there are a lot of factors, or a lot of one being sensible or to one being not so sensible or insensible. Okay, your upbringing or the kind of social circle that you are exposed to, or the kind of social awareness that you are, provided or again exposed to, and the kind of experiences that you had in life. Everything shape a person. Everything shape a person's sensibility. Okay. Now, I cannot, or probably no one can ever vouch that yes, if someone is, college graduate, he is expected to be sensible or he can be sensible. A lot of things, his understanding of life, his understanding of a particular issue, his perspective towards a particular problem or towards a particular, pattern or anything contributes to his sensibility. Okay. Again, we have talked about larger issues like, rape, corruption, and dowry or education system. I see, sensibility in very little things. Okay. If you want to listen to music, I mean, you should listen to yourself. I mean, you should not impose it on others' face, right? That's again a very minute example or very trivial example of sensibility. Okay. Now here it doesn't require one to be a college graduate, neither it requires one to go to a university and then, interact with people coming from different parts of the world or different parts of the country to learn how to probably make informed choices, right? Or to bother other people with his own actions. I think that's what is sensibility all about, right? Now talking about how we indulge in this entire debate or discussion, I think I'm really glad the kind of rigor, the kind of temper that every participant has brought to this debate, including the audience around here. And I would also like to thank everyone who has taken out the time and probably, after an 8 to 5 hectic schedule, you still were patient to be here, listen to the speakers, actively participate in the entire discussion. Thank you all for being here. That's about it from my end.